today what are we gonna cook? So I didn't tell you what the name is of what the name of the dish is because it might scare people away. Because if I directly translate it, it's gonna call the fly's head. Okay, you heard me right. And it's funny how we Chinese people, we like to name dishes that's kind of like gross, like saliva chicken or fly's head, right? And then for our reputation, people probably believe that it really is fly's head, but it's not, okay? It's these fermented black bean that actually when it's mixing in the dish, can you see it? Okay, don't feel my toes, okay? They're ugly today. Will you see my toes? No, right? Okay, good. So these black fermented beans, when they're mixing in the dishes, they look like a tiny little head of a fly, and that's why we call it fly's head, but it's not. And these are super, super delicious. Okay, so my little photographer kept doing this, so I don't know what that means. Huh? No? Yes? No?
Yes.
Okay. Anyways. Hi, Ariel. Yay! Thank you! And Xiangyu is here too. Yay! Anyways, okay, so these, you can buy it. Some are dry, like this. And some are in a jar already, and they're wet, and they're already seasoned in a jar, which is kind of like a pickles kind of thing, which is fine. Both are fine. It's just before you cook it, you want to taste it to see how, because if it's in a jar, sometimes it's seasoned with different flavors, and you want to make sure, whether it's salty or sweeter or, whatever the flavor is, and you can adjust, while you're cooking it. You can season with more salt or less salt, or more soy sauce or less soy sauce to make it a balance and better taste, okay? But today we're using the dry one. And these beans, they're salted, okay? They're salted, but then naturally they have this tiny little sweetness, So it's just a very, 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 it's kind of a umami, right? Umami? Yeah, umami flavor. If you add this in a dish, you just add a little different flavor, and that's really good, and fragrance too. All right, and there's like garlic chives, and then this is garlic chive flowers. You want to make sure you get the one that's with these flowers on top, because the one that without these flowers are like, see, these stems are thicker, right? So if you get the one that's without, it's like leaves. So when you saute it, it will get cooked really quickly, and then it's not meant for this dish. And these, they will have a crunchy texture after you cook it. And then it's got this strong garlic flavor. Distinct, very distinct flavors. You'll love it. Okay, but before we cook it, you wash it, of course. And then you're gonna remove the flowers. You don't want these flowers, so you remove them. And then you chop them. Okay, and then you'll chop them into this big. How big is this? Half a centimeter or like half a centimeter? So which is like a 1/4 inch. I don't know, my math is bad. Anyways, half a centimeter. Okay, so I'm gonna chop a few and show you. So this dish, a lot of people think it's a Szechuan dish, but actually this is a Taiwanese chef. It's created by a Taiwanese chef who actually went to Szechuan to learn Szechuan cuisine. But he created dish in his kitchen because he had some leftover, and I think he wants to cook for his employees or the staff in the restaurant, and then he just came up with this dish, and everyone loved it. And since then, he started serving this dish in the restaurant, and it became a big hit. So now it's a very famous dish. Every time when you go to a Sichuan restaurant, a restaurant that serves Sichuan style food in Taiwan, you will have, most likely you will be able to see this dish on the menu. So I don't know if it's a Taiwanese dish or it's a Sichuan dish, because it's created by a Taiwanese chef who owned a Sichuan restaurant, and it's sold in a Sichuan restaurant. So I don't know. Taiwanese Sichuan dish? I don't know. But anyway, it's super delicious. Oh, hey, we need some garlic minced, okay?
So we need to mix some garlic. Oh, I already marinated the ground pork. Sorry, I forgot to tell you. I already marinated the ground pork, and I'm gonna tell you what's in the ground pork in a little bit. And right now I'm gonna put in a little bit cornstarch in there. Why? So cornstarch is optional. You don't have to use it. But then today my pork is really lean, so I want to put a little bit cornstarch in there to make it the texture is like more. So after I saute it, it's not too dry. Okay, so what did I put in the pork? It's some basic marinade for Chinese dish. Taiwanese rice wine. Okay, make sure you find the one that's no sodium, that's no salt. Okay, so you know, most of the time it's sold in the actually alcohol area section, not the normal cooking wine section. So it's a Taiwanese rice wine. There's no salt in there. The cooking rice wine, sometimes you see like 15% or 3%. I don't know. And you know, soy sauce and sesame oil. And the accurate amount of everything, I'll put it in a recipe and I'll update after this live cooking episode. One secret tips that most people just marinate their pork with these 3 simple ingredients. Oh, and a little bit sugar. Most people just marinate the pork with these 4 simple ingredients, but I do a tiny bit of this Szechuang wine. It's made with, it's a little bit, it's different than the Taiwanese rice wine. Taiwanese rice wine, let me show you, hold on, let me get a glass. I'm back. Let me get a glass, we'll show you. This is Taiwanese rice wine, the pure rice wine, or like sake, they're all clear, right? Alcohol, so clear in color. But the Szechuang rice wine, it's made with, it says sticky rice, and wheat. Okay, and this wine is almost like a whiskey color, okay? And when you smell it, you can smell almost like plum. It's kind of like a plum. There's plum in there. Very fruity. So it's, but there's no plum. So the taste is different. So I will put in a little bit of this. I don't want to put a lot because I don't want people to know. Like, I don't know. I think when you're really good at something, so at the cooking, you'll put in stuff in there that people will be like, wow, it tastes so good. But they won't be like, oh gosh, I taste this ingredient and that ingredient. Sometimes a few ingredients I want to put in and people can't tell what it is and it's just good, right? So this is that secret ingredient that I put in, just a splash, just tiny little bit of it to make people like, what is this? There's ones that I marinate my pork slice with a little bit of this and people thought it was ham. Okay, but I was like, well, no, I didn't use any ham. It was just a pork. It's the secret. Okay, I put in this, and then everyone just like, but it tastes different. It's so good. But I don't want people to tasting like, oh yeah, you put this Szechuang wine in there. Okay, yeah. That way you get to share it when people say it's so good. You're like, oh yeah, I put it a little bit different something. Instead of people just like, yeah, I know what she did, right? Okay, now back to minced garlic. So we let the pork sit here for a little bit, and you want the pork to be marinated for like 15 minutes at least. And then we chop. You know, Chinese cooking is a lot of chopping. Many chopping for many ingredients, and that only goes into one dish. Okay? It's a lot of work. And that's why, you know, we always, growing up, I feel like we didn't need a family room because our family room really is in the kitchen. My mom is always in the kitchen doing this. So this sound actually sounds very soothing to me because it's just there all the time when I was growing up. So we all have to, if we want to talk to our moms, we have to go to the kitchen and they're gonna be cooking, and then we'll talk to them while they're cooking. So I really think that the kitchen is the family room. We really don't need a family room. It's always prepping and cooking, you know. All right, so the garlic is minced. Put it aside. Like I just said earlier, it's a Szechuang dish. Well, it's created by a Taiwanese chef who's in his Szechuan restaurant kitchen. So it's got to be spicy because Szechuan food is spicy, right? So you can put in some chili pepper. I think in the U.S. it's easier to find similar chili pepper that is the Thai chili pepper. Okay. Depends on how spicy you want it to be, okay? You can put in as much as you want, as little as you want. And there's another tip for how spicy you want it, a way to do adjust how spicy you want it to be, and I'll talk about it when we do it. Okay, so here's the chili pepper and the minced garlic. So I think we're almost ready. Yes, I think we're ready. Okay, everything is ready. So we have the garlic, chive flowers, we have the pork, we have the spice, and we have this. Okay, we're done. Okay, I'm going to put this away, and we're going to start sauteing. Here. Okay, my mom, if you followed me for a while, you know my mom's a very picky cook in her kitchen. Everything has to come out, not just delicious, have to be pretty to look at too. And also every ingredients have to be cooked just the right amount of time. But when you're mixing a lot of Chinese food, we're mixing many ingredients in a pan to saute. How do you guarantee that they're all cooked just right? So here's the thing. So my mom grew up in her cousin's house, who's a very good cook, and I think she was old enough to came from China, so she came from China. She was a very wealthy person. She married to a lawyer at the time, was very wealthy. They have helper, they have cook, they have maid, and all that. But she's really good at cooking. A lot of my mom's dishes came from her recipe. I love that because it's like the authentic and old, recipes that passed through generations. So she learned this from her. So she always saute every ingredient separately to 80% cooked. And then, in the very end, before they have to serve dinner, she'll put them all together and then do a quick saute and serve. And that's why everything tastes just right. Okay, so we're gonna do the same today, but then instead of, we're gonna kind of do the same. We're gonna saute the ground pork first, and then I'll take it out, and then I'll wash my pot or use another pot, and then I'll start reassemble the dish. Okay, another tip for the pork. A lot of people already know it, but I still want to tell you about it, is put in a little oil in the pork, maybe like a teaspoon. Why? Because it will make it easier to break apart when you're sauteing it. I don't know if you try to make like a spaghetti sauce and you have like the ground pork, and it's so hard to break apart, right? If you put a little bit oil in there before you saute it, it's gonna be a lot easier. Tips, huh? Okay. This is it. Oh, did you see this jar? Yes. Today I'm gonna do this jar, giveaway of this jar, because I've been talking about this jar, like, I don't know when, but probably half a year, like 6 months ago. I've been wanting to give away, so I bought a few. Some of them are this size, and some of them are half size, and then it's randomly I'm gonna give away. If you share this video, or you share you invite people to like my fan page, then you have a chance that you can win this oil jar. Why is it good? This is like a dressing jar too. People put dressing in there. There's like the milliliter mark here.
but I put oil in there because why? Because you know, like they're when we're pouring oil into the pan or pot, I don't know why. I've never found one that doesn't drip down on the side. And ended up, your oil jar is always like greasy. And then your tabletop is always like greasy. This one, gosh, I didn't even expect it to be so good. But this one does not drip, okay? So see, my plate, never greasy, never, because it doesn't drip. I already have this habit to have a plate underneath all the oil jar because most of them drip. I don't want it to be messy on my countertop. So I have a plate for it, but it's never greasy. This one's so good. So if you use it for dressing on the table, it will never make your table messy. It does not drip. It's made in Japan. Japanese people, they really know how to make things good. Make good things, yes. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna cut the crab. We're gonna start cooking. Heat the pot. Okay, get a spatula. Oh, Ariel, we want it? You share this video for me and invite people to like the page. Thank you. Okay, I'm not gonna put in too much oil here because I already put in some in the pork. And the benefit of, I'm gonna turn it down a little bit first because this pot heat up really fast. Because, what was I gonna say? Oh, because if you saute this first and take it out, then later you don't have to dump all the juice back in the whole dish. So you get to control how salty you want it to be, how much juice, sauce that you want it to be. So that's the benefit of sauteing all the ingredients separately too. Okay. All right, this is the moment. Every time when I cook, I love the moment I put the ingredients into the pot because it goes. Oh, I love this sound. Okay, just a quick saute. And you see, I don't need too much effort. It will break apart easily. Oh, it smells so good. All right. I don't need it to be super cooked, so because I'm gonna saute one more time later. So I'm gonna take it out of the pan. All right. And normally I have to wash this pot and then saute, but to save your time, I'm gonna use a new pot and do all the washing, hard work in the back of this thing. All right. Okie doke. Now we heat up this pot and, well, stainless steel actually can be non-stick if you heat up hot enough. Okay, heat the pan hot enough before you put in oil. Like I just did it too fast. But if you heat up the pan till it's really hot and then you put in the oil and then wait for the oil to heat up as well, it becomes non-stick. It's amazing. You can do a over easy on top of it and it's non-stick. It will slip around on the in the pot. Okay, a little oil. See, it's not dripping. This is not dripping. This is super good. And I'm a picky person. Okay,
So speaking of the chili pepper, turn it down a little bit because I can talk a lot sometimes. If you really like spicy, put it now with the garlic. Okay, so it infused the oil, but also the heat of the oil will release the spiciness out. So it will make the dish spicier. Or if you don't want it so spicy, you can put it in the end. Then it won't be as spicy. Okay. Well, today we're gonna put it in, and I might be just sneezing and coughing because the fragrance of the chili pepper will be released. Okay, now I'm gonna put in the garlic chive flour. Woo! The smell. Season it. Season it. Not to sneeze in front of you guys. And always use your food. Alright, use a little more salt. Excuse me. Oh, if you've had Taiwanese chili pepper, you would know how fragrant, how strong the smell could be. Now I'm gonna put in the fermented black bean. Give it a quick stir. Again, try it before you this dish is done. And this flavor is to die for. If you have rice, you just go put it on top of your rice. Oh my god, so good. All right, let me plate it. Okay, let's make it clean and neat. And maybe a little bit of this. And there's another thing about Chinese people, about chopsticks. So we use chopsticks, right? But do you know that the thinner tip is for your own eating? And when you want to, if you don't have a chopsticks for everyone to, for the clean chopsticks for everyone to use, or you want to serve other people and you don't want people to, people don't want to touch the end that you already ate, right? So you use the back and you do things. Okay, here. Cheers. Oh, the spicy is so good. The smell is good. This garlic chive flour and the black bean, the fermented black bean, just complement each other. And I love this pork because, my secret ingredients. And it just adds another fragrance on top of what originally is there. Sorry, my son is naked right there. Errol, are you okay? Mm-hmm. Go change, it's fine, go. Okay, that's fine. Just go back into the room.
Then can I help you?
You want to help me, you have to put your pants on.
Okay.
Do you want to try and tell people how it is?
Hey guys,
Hey guys, put on your pants first, Arrow.
my pants.
That's too sexy.
Need it.
That's too sexy. Okay. It's a little spicy, okay?
It's good.
It's good. Good. Here.
It's good.
It's
Right?
good? Do you like it?
You like it? Yeah.
So everyone should make it.
Everyone should make it.
It's really good.
Really good and drink some water.
Drink some water. Why? Because
Cause it's spicy.
it's very spicy. All right. So here is the fly's head,
Hey, let's
but it's
drink.
really delicious. It's
Come on,
not
let's
really
drink
fly's head. It's
water.
the okay. It's the fermented black.